Prime Conor, prime Tony Ferguson. Tony was everything wrong with Conor's style, right? Like Tony had every ability to walk Conor down and butcher your face. I would probably take Tony in a prime versus prime. Number one, because Tony was naturally a 170-pounder. Just the division was filled with guys cutting a ton of weight. So he fought at 55. And Conor obviously was a natural 55er fighting at 45. So Tony would have been bigger. Frame-wise, he could handle Conor a little bit with the reach because Tony's got a freaky reach too. I think that, again, the style for Conor, that you would have had to nail Tony to the canvas. And Tony gets hurt in a lot of his fights, even in his prime. Prime Tony would have got Conor, I think, because it was just the worst matchup for Conor. His style was all bad for Conor McGregor. It was the worst style for him. Tony's chin was crazy. His cardio was insane. He was literally a mummy. But yeah, and Tony would get hurt and then weather the storm. If you think Nate Diaz was a problem matchup for Conor because of his size, because of his durability, because of his gas tank, imagine that with a more violent fucking White Walker walking at you. You know what I'm saying? He was way more violent. He was way more dangerous. His submission game, I know that Nate's was too, but that Darce that Tony had, stupid. I think Khabib would have beat Tony, though. Because, again, it's all about matchups. I think Khabib presented the problem that Tony couldn't solve, right? Khabib's insane offensive grappling and his top game pressure was something that Tony wasn't going to really, I don't think, be able to take advantage of. And people talked about how he had nice triangles off his back and elbows off his back, but Tony needed to be in there with a someone that wasn't going to match his pace, someone that was going to wither as the fight went on, and that wasn't going to be able to take him down. And I think Khabib probably would have been able to take him down. And Khabib's submission game was just as good, if not better, than Tony's. His ground and pound was insane. So I think Khabib was probably the kryptonite for Tony. Tony, the kryptonite for Conor. And I think, honestly, Conor, without the years and years of layoff, that should have been a penalty against Croatia, I feel like. Conor, without the years and years in layoff, would have been the kryptonite for Khabib. I truly believe it. Because Conor's wrestling, his takedown defense wasn't the greatest ever, but it was serviceable enough. I thought his timing was perfect. Even again, after those years off, he lands a beautiful knee on Khabib in that 2018 fight to open the fight. Stuffs that first takedown. That's not a Delulu take, I don't think, at all. I think because you saw what happened in that fight with years off from Conor. He took Khabib to the late part of that third round, or the fourth round, excuse me, without really, having any sort of consistency in his game. I think Conor would have given Khabib real problems 2016 era. I really do. I think his precision, his timing was unlike anything Khabib had ever seen out of a striker. Unlike anything he had ever seen. And in 2018, it just wasn't there. Look at the way Conor's throwing punches in 2018. Look at the way he fights Khabib in that fight. Lackadaisical. After the first takedown, just so lackadaisical. No timing. No jab, just all boxing.